It's basically the operations of the company, the building contract. I'm also handling all the HR, the finances is a big part of my responsibilities. And also small events like corporates and things like that, not the big operas. I mean, they're very much a team effort, but the smaller corporate events that we do. We don't have the luxury to have a person for each department or each sort of job that we do. So a lot of my and Marcus's work specifically is sort of interlinking with one another. Masego and Pretty and Bongani, we very much sort of work with one another. I studied theatre crafts way back when it was still called theatre crafts. It changed its name now at the Technikon of Pretoria, which is now the Tshwane University of Technology. Then I did the national service, like we all had to do. After that, I decided to come back and I did musical theatre. I think in a way maybe thought I can do, the performing side of it, but realized, no, this is not for me. I'm more the organizer. I want to tell people what to do, not do it myself. But it was a great experience and it really gave me insight into a performer's life. After that, I started at the old PACT, Performing Arts Council of Transvaal, first in the music department, where I did a lot of jazz and light music, Afrikaans music in those days. We worked closely with the orchestra. And then in 97, I moved over to the opera department, and that's actually where my whole opera career started. And then worked for them until 2000 when the State Theatre closed down. And then immediately after that, I was contacted by Niels Hansen and Mimi Kurtze, who then ran the Black Tie Ensemble, to ask and help out, and I started working for them, and until Niels retired in 2007, then I took over the company. It was crazy because it's just too big and too much, and by 2010 I cornered Marcus and I said, please, you need to come and help. He started full-time with us at 2011, and and by 2013 we changed the name to Gauteng Opera. Opera is really the coming together of so many art forms. If you think of something like ballet, it is beautiful music and movement, but there's no communication this is just me. Communication, verbal communication. If you look at drama, that is just communication without music. So opera is for me the really getting together of all of that. It's really the music with the drama. And yes, I know people say, yes, but musicals, what about musicals? I do love musicals. I always had a passion for musicals as well. But I think the music of opera is for me so much more emotional. There's so much more in the music. If you watch people who don't necessarily understand opera or understand the languages, Italian or French or German, you can still see them get emotional just about the music. It's how the composers weave the emotion in the music that they composed. And I think that is the thing that really draws me, is that whole emotional value of the drama of opera. They say money isn't everything, but boy, in theatre it helps. And of course, support. We need the people to realize that Gauteng Opera is the opera company up here. There, at the moment, are really only two strong companies in this country, and which is Cape Town Opera, and then I think Gauteng Opera Company. There are, of course, many groups and companies and things around, but I think we are the strongest in the sense of trying to develop, trying to build, trying to build a sustainable job opportunity for artists. And I mean, we really applaud everybody who is trying to keep opera alive in whatever way they are trying to do it. But yes, so money and support. People, I think the life is so fast these days, and it's so cheap. Entertainment is so readily available that people sometimes sort of lose track of what is real and what is of essence that they need to support to keep it alive. And but it's tough. It's tough. I mean, because opera is not a cheap art form, unfortunately. It is expensive, especially if you do good opera. It is so vast in people that you need to do it. If you think of a chorus and an orchestra and the soloists and the sets and the technicians and the costumes it is just such a. I mean, you're talking easily between 100 and 150 people involved in a production, and of course people need to be paid. to live like we all do. So that is always the biggest part of a budget is the human factor, the fees that needs to be paid.